take away this puppet boy's life. He's evil. He's nothing but pure evil. Jesus Christ, Lord have mercy on my soul. Please save me. God, Lord, where's a box of matches when I need it? Set this demon ablaze, please, God.
Oh, that was it? Oh, god damn it. That was so short. I want to watch more. Okay, here's another one from Meat Canyon. Jesus Christ. Oh, no.
You look cute when you eat those fries.
Uh-oh. Is this an ASMR?
Now go ahead. Get a taste of that Big Mac. It's really good.
I wish I had McDonald's now. It would be perfect.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the final episode of Automation Arc, where I tried to automate literally anything and everything that I could think of, and it's not like I know every single creature in the game. Like, I know the Hesperonychus aren't normally used for their golden eggs, but for this series, I used it. But this is just going to be a base tour, and then after that, I'm going to do something else, but let's just get right into it. This is the base tour. Let's go through the outside first. So this giant pond here is for my Hesperonychus and my Baryonyx, which, where is my Baryonyx? Oh, there it is. I thought I planted a thing on it, but my Baryonyx is here just to farm trilobites. I did use Diplo, and just to be clear about this this entire base, like, a lot of things have been cheated in. The dinosaurs have been tamed legitimately, as long as their tranks has been legitimately gotten as well. So any dinosaur that's like really hard to get, that's just how it is. So this Diplo was my trilobite farmer, and I think this Diplo was actually really good at it. There was just a problem with the Diplocaulus farming the trilobites, and that's he could get through these pillars by roaming, and if he's on aggressive, he'll attack any creature. So since he was able to attack any creature, he would just like attack like these Ankylos or, you know, a Stego or a Bronto, and just get fucked up and die. That's why I decided to get this Baryonyx. I got this Baryonyx for two reasons: to get another, to tame something else, but also just to replace the Diplo, because the Diplo died a lot, but the Baryonyx has been consistently keeping itself alive, feeding itself, and farming pearls completely automatically. Even though he's not the, although she's not the greatest at farming pearls, the Diplo is definitely better at it, but that's just it. Whoa. That Basilia was like really close to the surface. I was just really confused. Alright, so next we have this Rex, and this was a Rex that I tamed in the series because Meat Seeker couldn't farm for me. Meat Seeker was my first dino I ever tamed in this series. I didn't record it at all, but because I didn't even know I wanted to really even want to do this series. I just thought it would be a neat idea if I started it when I was starting my base, building it. But Meat Seeker was my very first tame. I just wanted something. I think like one of the top things you would want to try and farm for, or like try to do, is have something that can protect you and have something that can get you meat. And the T-Rex can do a lot in those regards. Like, most predators will ignore you. Most predators will ignore you. They can travel very well. They have a decent amount of weight, even at a low level. And their AoE attacks are monstrously good. So that's why I tamed T-Rex as my very first tame. You're not supposed to be out here. How'd you get out here? You were supposed to be in here. That's really weird. Where did it go? Oh, there. Alright, continuing on. As you can see, I walled off this entire island. And the big reason why I used pillars was to not prevent spawns. So the reason why spawns are still happening here is because they are pillars. You can't use these railings here, and I learned that the hard way very early in the series. These railings actually prevent spawns. So I think they could spawn here, but these railings are preventing it. But if you go over here, they won't. See, as you can see, there's wild dinos. Sorry, I'm really bad at talking, I guess, but as you can see, there's wild dinos here because there's none of those railings that are too close by. So like anything with like a foundation pretty much prevents spawns, and pillars are just pillars, so they can act like walls. Gates, I could have used gates, but I thought pillars would look nicer, but it turned out they didn't look too much nicer. I probably could have just replaced all these pillars with metal gateways and then use those glass doors, so it actually looked a lot nicer, but I just decided to use pillars, and angrily so, because this was really painful to do with just pillars, but I just wanted to guarantee that I didn't prevent any spawns. So this is also a good time to show this. This is my Basiliosaur pen. The Basiliosaur is actually pretty dumb. I don't know why it always targets something outside this pen, looks at it for a million years, and then once it maybe finally gets out of aggro range, it'll start maybe attacking these jellyfish here. Now, if you're wondering why there's jellyfish here, and that's because of this mod called Simple Spawners. The Simple Spawners, I just decided to use it just to automate things that are previously not automatable. So, like, there's no way you can just guarantee a jellyfish spawn in a pen somewhere. Like, as you can see, like, you can barely see any here. Okay, there's some over here. And there's a Alpha T-Rex right there as well. That's pretty cool. But maybe if I pinned this all the way across, the Basiliosaur on vanilla might be able to just farm biotoxin very, very slowly. And that would be an option, but instead I decided just to put it right next to my island. I made a spawner that spawns at least 20 jellyfish it was supposed to, and then a bunch of regular fish just so it could feed itself and also farm me biotoxin. And that's why that's why I took some time to tame this Basiliosaur. Oh, that's why it's stuck. There's this monster just right on there. Wait, I think it's actually stuck. Like it's inside a fucking pillar. I can't even walk onto it. So if you wanted to do this vanilla, a Basiliosaur automatic farm, you would have to find a guaranteed jellyfish spawn, and I think it's guaranteed to be here. I'm not completely sure, but you could try. But instead, I just use simple spawners to make everything easier. And let's get my Basiliosaur eventually. Wait, it's not dead, is it? Oh, this is a wild one. What? What? Oh my god. This has turned into such a weird thing. There's mine. This is the one that I tamed. Okay. Okay, now it's just gonna go farm the jellyfish, just like it was supposed to. Something that's very unfortunate about the Basiliosaur is that it doesn't actually farm corpses. As you can see, the jellyfish corpse is just there. So it's purely by randomness of its AoE attack that it's gonna farm a corpse on its own. Which is really unfortunate. Like, I really wanted it to farm a jellyfish completely, you know, unhindered, but it just didn't turn out to be that way. And the reason why it has to be a Basiliosaur, at least I think it has to be, is because they're immune to the jellyfish. I don't know if there's any other creature that is immune. When I looked up on the wiki, this was the only one that could farm it relatively well. I guess you could, you know, put like 10 creatures in here versus like 5 jellyfish, and all 10 of them will, at least 5 of them will be electrocuted and 5 of them will attack the jellyfish. I just don't know how that works, and I didn't want to really test it too much. I just thought just taming one creature would be bam, done. I don't have to worry about it anymore, but apparently I did have to worry about it still. I mean, not too much, but as you can see, he's not very efficient at farming a biotoxin. He has been farming it, but he's not very efficient at it. Are you going to attack that Basiliosaur? Okay, you're not. I actually do want to tame that, but I guess it all comes down to fate, I guess. Alright, so speaking of simple spawners, I spawned... There is a simple spawner in here as well that spawns trilobites and fish as well. And the Hesperonychus, which are very tiny and really hard to see. These Hesperonychus have been farming fish and also giving me golden eggs for exceptional kibble. So I didn't have to tame a Uteranus or anything like that. And you can get Hesperonychus very early too. So that's why it was like one of my first tames. I wanted to be able to use the kibble, but unfortunately I didn't have the simple spawner the entire time. I did have it installed, but I didn't know how to use it. So I decided one day to try to tinker with it, and it was the best decision of my life. Simple spawners helps automation like this so much more. And so now I'm just getting a constant supply of fish meat, and pearls, meat, and golden eggs, which is really nice. So that's the outside, and as you can see, I built this yacht for I built this yacht, which was made by a creator. I need to look up their name real quick. Okay, this was made by TLK Gaming. I pretty much made it. I pretty much replicated it with his step-by-step tutorial. I'm actually in love with this build. It's really nice looking. I don't really like how I can't get to the top floor without going through these stairs, but you know that I think that's just how yachts work. This is what the inside looks like. 2 air conditioners on the top there. Got one of everything. I didn't want it to splurge too much. I wanted it to be kind of empty in case I ever want to put creatures in here for whatever reason. And yeah, it's really nice looking. I actually was in the middle of building this, but I didn't know the structure limit. I knew the structure limit was like 100. I was just like, wow, how did he build this with just 100 structures? And clearly it's not 100, right? And I got frustrated because I got to like this bow part, and the structure limit was reached, and there's a setting to increase it by 5 times, and so I just increased it. And although, well, I just increased it, and I've been loving driving this thing around. I tamed my snails on here, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever. It was like the snails get to be tamed on a yacht. They get a yacht ride all the way over here. So this is the inside. There's just pterodons that spawn in there. I don't know how to stop that. So here we have an anthill, which is part of the automation mod where you can dump bug repellent in here, and ants will spawn. Now, if I could automatically put the bug repellent into this thing, because it needs bug repellent to work. Like, inject bug repellent into this anthill and drive out its inhabitants. Be sure to have something to harvest the corpses. But instead, I just put it here as just a way of saying that this is where the ants are spawning. And I put a simple spawner that spawns ants in here, and my thing here. My toad farms the ants for me into this very museum-looking area. I thought about turning my base into a museum, like just kind of like this, like show how the creature. Oh, hey! As you can see, my toad's farming the ants right in front of your eyes. Seems to be having trouble though. I guess that's just a problem putting it on a slant like that. I thought it would look cool, but apparently the toad has a really hard time attacking anything like that. think I'm just gonna help it out just so... Whoops. I didn't mean to give you that. There you go. I just wanted to help it out. Normally I've never seen him get attacked that crazily before, but he's been farming me cementing paste, even though apparently he didn't farm any there. But he has been. I think the automation pulled it out of his inventory super quick. These dinosaurs I tamed, these Caprios I actually worked really hard for, but I only used them like once. I wanted the cave explorer for dung beetles, and it turned out not to work out too well. These are all the other dinosaurs I've tamed. The Ankylo's my way to farm obsidian and crystal right now. My Argent is the carrier bird. This Megalosaurus was actually supposed to be a cave companion as well, but obviously I can only do it at night. So I guess I could only cave dwell at night, which was pretty awful. And here is the main event. The main reason I built this base was this indoor. I don't know what this is described as. It's like this indoor terrarium, I guess. If that's what the right word for it? Of dung beetles and snails. Now, this is the only dung beetle I was able to find, unfortunately. As you can see, it's doing just fine for itself. It's farming me a bunch of fertilizer and oil. I actually really wanted to get more, but they weren't as easy as find as the snails. Here we got an automatic vacuum to pick up all of their poop. We got a trough here that just feeds them automatically. And this is just another thing I just have to explain. I really, really would have preferred if I could automate vegetable cakes and put them in a trough. All of it automatically. I would love to do that. I would rather pay resources to feed these guys and do it this way. But the soul of this series was to make everything as automated as possible. So I never have to feed the snails, and they just constantly give me organic polymer and whatever they want to give. But you can see this is the Snail Sanctuary. I think that's the name of the base, actually. I've never named the base, so this is the Snail Sanctuary. It's just where all the snails can just be themselves. They don't have to be in a swamp or the redwoods forest constantly dying or getting knocked out. I really love these snails. Like I think the snails have been like one of my favorite creatures because they provide everything you need, but at a very dire cost, which is you have to feed them vegetable cakes constantly. So it's nice to have, like, I think we have 13 snails in here. I want to get more dung beetles, but dung beetles are just so goddamn hard to find on the island. I think they're easier on other maps, but I didn't want to go to any other maps. At least not for right now. Well, this is the Snail Sanctuary right here. Like, I'm really happy that I finished making this. On the second floor here, we have the generator. We have our preserving bins right here, so I can make the kibble. I have a feeding trough here, which I don't think is even in use anymore because of that trough over there. I was gonna make this my bedroom, but I just got too lazy. I was much more interested in automating everything that I didn't really work on this base too much. But I tried making another room up here, and I thought this was gonna be my bedroom, but I haven't decided on that yet. On the other side here is the automation. The key to automating everything is right here. It's where I put my main storage to. I really don't have that many lampposts. I need to throw that away. Jesus. Yeah, I don't have that either. Throw that away. Nor do I have that many. I did make those refrigerators and that generator. I remember that. I'm automatically farming these. I forgot that I am. And it all disappeared. So all the control councils are connected to each other. They'll just cycle through every council. So I really need to get the stuff out of here, but it's just in there for now. I didn't want to bother with it too much. Up here is where I have more automation. And this is actually where I was trying to make narcotics, which I don't really have much of anymore. But here we got our purple oil, the purple oil. I wanted to automate these shocking tranquilizer darts. My biotoxin's coming in incredibly slowly. Got so many stem berries I can't even count. I made 9 fridges of narco berries, and yeah, but you have a lot of narco berries, that's for sure. But this was just supposed to be the chem station area. I made these thinking that they would stay online. Like if you log off, like if I like just go to the main menu and come back in, whatever was automated in here, the recipe is just gone. So it no longer automates if you leave. So unless I'm on here for a very long time, I would probably use these, but I decided to stop making them because of that. Like, it was just really depressing to just be like, yeah, my whole base will be fully automated, but I also have to redo every single one of these that I make. And so I didn't want to make too many. I just made 3. And these will make like narcotics and whatnot. Like if I might as well show you guys. So let's say I already had some. Let's say I wanted to make some narcotics. Wait, that's actually the other thing. They're actually bugged out because if you leave, you can't make any more blueprints for them. So I would have to pick these up and then reset them and then replace them so that I could automate them, which is, you know, really bonkers. I don't know why, like, that's a thing, but it is. But I'll just give you a demonstration of how this automation would work if it was even working. And that's also the other thing, they're just the fucking blueprints in your face like that. I can't tell if it's straight. I'm not really good with placing things, if you guys haven't noticed. Okay, let's just do it like this. I don't really care where I put them. Okay, now that they're reset, I can make the blueprint. As you can see, it didn't work before, and now it did. I'll say start auto pulling, and then it should. I haven't turned it on yet. So let's turn these all on, and it should be making these. Is there a reason you're just not making it? There's no narcotics being made. Did it break? I don't understand. Like, clearly I have 48,000 narco berries. Oh my god. Apparently this just doesn't work anymore. Oh no. I literally do not know. let's just wait for my automation system to... I would have shown that I was going to automatically make shock trank darts, which I actually never did. I've only made narcotics, stimulants, and spark powder here. But I wanted to try the shocking darts, but it just doesn't want to automate it. Doesn't want to automate the narcotics, so I don't know what to do. Now here's all of our organic polymer. Our snails just drops it in here. It spoils in like a day or whatever, but it's plenty of time. It can just keep it there. Over here is our gardening, our greenhouses. I put this the berry side, the rare flower side, and the rare mushrooms. I was going to vanilla the rare flowers at the very least, because there's another pterodon stuck in my base. You're gonna see a lot of wild pterodons in my base. I don't know why that happens, but I was gonna automate the rare flowers with the moss shops. That's why I have so many moss shops in the first place, was to let them gather rare flowers completely on their own and ship it with conveyor belts all the way to my main base. But there is only one problem with that, and that's I don't know if wild dinos wander out of render distance. And even if they do, I don't think they farm things for you if you're not around them. So I just decided that this was the safer way. It's also part of this automation mod. You can see this is the AA gardening station. Anything that says AA is part of this automation mod. So I'm not saying like I would rather do it more legitimately, but I guess I could just throw fertilizer at a seed and get rare flowers, I guess, and rare mushrooms. This is the kitchen, my pride and joy, and this is probably where I spend most of my time. Here we got my kitchen narcotics, my kitchen fiber, sap, stimulants. We have a bunch of sap because we got redwood trees right out here. This is all of our vegetables, carrots, potatoes, you know, everything. The redwood forest trees are in this glass box, able just to farm sap for me constantly. And if you guys have noticed, there's bees on this side. I didn't go too much. The first bee I tamed in this series was really hard, but after that it just became super easy. Like, I didn't really get bothered by taming them. And I was weirded out that I was able to get 2 in 1, but this is where all the bees are at. Now, I actually thought that these beehives, like the vanilla beehives here, wouldn't be able to be automated, but they're semi-automated. I can still pull the honey out of it automatically. I don't have to touch these ever again. I only have to touch them to put rare flowers in. So, as you see, I have 96 rare flowers. That's cool and all. I'm gonna get slowed by these bees, but I'm in creative mode. Or I'm just gonna fly off in different directions. Here's all of our refrigerated storage. I made 2 cooked meat storages, and all this cooked meat is basically just my Rex. My Rex has been farming stegos and brontos on the island, and has been cooking it automatically. As you can see over here, we have our industrial cookers. I could just make vegetable cakes whenever. I'd just be like, hey, I want some vegetable cakes. Literally everything here is automated. I have all this resource, and I just be like, hey, I want 1, bam, I got 1. Easy. I have a grill for each meat to prevent overstocking. At first I wanted to do like raw meat, prime meat, raw fish, prime fish on just 2 grills. But as you can see, if meat becomes too much, and it will become too much, and it has, it's going to be all stored up in here and nowhere to go. So I made a separate grill for prime meat, so it always has a way to... It will always get cooked, it'll always be here in some way. So that's just the entire kitchen. I just have this right here just to drink out of. I have this to cook the holiday stuff. So here's the... Going back to the to this refrigerated area. You can see I have all the meats here besides prime meat. I didn't think I would have a use for prime meat. If I really wanted to, I'll just switch like one of these to a prime, raw prime. But I didn't think like trying to get 300 prime meat and trying to store it in it would be realistic or even good. Like, even if I probably could. I could farm alphas and do that. But the main problem with that is that it only has like one recipe, and that's this battle tart. As you see, this battle tart requires raw prime meat, not cooked. So that if I really wanted some battle tarts, I would just farm the raw prime meat. It's not a big deal. But literally nothing else requires it besides actually cooking it. So I just decided not to store it. I decided to store raw prime fish meat because there's really just no use for it, even cooked. So you see I got some cooked fish meat. I got almost full raw fish meat by now, so I will eventually have this becoming more full as well. As you can see, raw prime fish meat, it's all spoiled. This was exactly what I was fearing with the prime meat, by the way. It will just get spoiled very quickly. And it did. And I got some cooked prime fish meat. Got all the berries here. I got 3 of each, just in case I got too full of each, and apparently I am getting too full. This is the brews and the antidotes, which I have none of, but I tried making them. Mayo berries. Got plenty of those. There's 2 refrigerators for all the vegetables. Seems like they're getting somewhat full. It's actually really slow going, but they're getting full. Up here is my kibble. I have 1 for each kibble here in case I ever need it. See all my exceptional kibble. I wasted 1 on a bacillosaurus. That bacillosaurus that's farming biotoxin for me. Because I have no way to produce exceptional kibble, only extraordinary. Rare flowers, rare mushrooms. Apparently I'm full of rare mushrooms. We got sweet vegetable cakes. We got all the cooked meals pretty much up here. And then we have all of our honey, which are just being dumped into here. Now for the other giant pin of the base is the inner island. The inner part of the island where it's just a bunch of rocks and metal and whatnot. So if I can just find any creature. I don't think they have a tendency to wander off. Oh my god. Oh boy. I'll just put you guys in balls for now. I did not expect that. Well, I made this tiny pen for the Doedicurus. As you can see, a bunch of rocks spawn in this area, so I just made the Doedicurus here. Apparently, I just noticed that all the creatures would just sink into here, but then never leave. So I decided to block it off and just keep my Doedicurus here. Apparently my Ankylo's stuck too. This is a wild one? Okay. I'm just gonna kill it. I don't know where it spawned at, but I try to keep track of where wild ones spawn and try to block it as soon as possible. And apparently my Bacillosaurus got out. God damn it. As you can see, don't use pillars, I guess. I mean, if you have simple spawners, just don't use pillars. There you go, have fun. So we'll try and get out the wanderers in this inner island. I've got my giant monkey. He's been farming fiber for me this entire time. Doesn't have any on him right now, but he will. We got an Ankylo. This Ankylo farms metal, thatch, flint, a little, like tiny bits of stone and wood and whatnot. but it's there. So he says enable wonder. He's going to wander around and hit metal nodes. Now, the Ankylo doesn't normally hit metal nodes completely on its own. It'll only do that because I have a mod that allows them to. And he's going to demonstrate right here. He sees a metal node. He's going to hit all the trees, the rocks, everything around it just to get to this metal node. Bam. He has farmed the metal for me. And it'll automatically be deposited into a refining forge, which will get made into metal ingots. Those metal ingots will be automatically stored as well. And apparently, it just emptied out. The beaver is just obviously here for wood. I actually would have... If I had to do anything different in this series, I probably would have tamed a mammoth instead. Because the mod actually allows a mammoth to automatically farm wood for you. But the beaver was all I had, so I decided to tame a beaver for the early game so that I could get some more wood. So he's good. He's really bad at it too. Like he'll just run at a tree and run right past it and just take one nibble out of it. I don't know if he's going to demonstrate that, but I think that's it. That's all the creatures that wander around this island. Well, I didn't mean to enable mating, but enable wandering. So these guys will just farm around the island and do whatever they need to do. And that's basically the entire island. All the automation processes. This top floor here, I forgot to mention the top floor. These refining forges have been melting all the metal that the Anklios have been farming. As you can see, they had already did some of the mill ingots. I've been storing the scrap metal here because it's just I just don't know what to do with it. Like, I know it's like one ingot for each scrap metal, but I don't think these automatically pull in scrap metal. I think they only pull in regular metal. Up here was my giant aerial creature storage. Like, this is where all my Argentavises, my Quetzals were going to be. But I never got around to that part. I just decided to just leave it the way it is. And wild pterodons actually spawn in here every now and then, as you can see. And over here is just a bunch of my composite bins. I have a shit ton of these because I couldn't find any dung beetles, so I decided that since my Anklios are farming a bunch of thatch for me anyway, and my Doedicruses, these composite bins actually pick up that thatch and turn it into poop for me and pick up all the poop, no matter if it's wild or not. So any poop on this island just goes into here, turns into fertilizer, and gets automatically put into my crops. So I don't have to touch my crops at all. It's all automated. And I think that's pretty much it. I think that's my entire island just described. I guess I did want to use these moss chops here. The reason why he's standing guard right here is because he was my Diplo anchor. I would hop on my moss chops, tell my Diplo to follow it, and he'll always just come back here, so he won't try to aggro over here. And it didn't work. I just kept them there because I'm just so used to seeing my moss chops there. Like, I just wanted to keep them there. These Ichis were actually, they were supposed to be a raw prime fish potential farm, but no matter what I would do, they wouldn't produce the yellow glowing fish that they pick up. They won't do it unless I do it. Like, I have to make them attack a fish and then they'll bring it to me. But it's not automatic at all. The only the automatic part was them attacking the fish and then bringing them to you. That part's automatic. But I have to order it to do it in the first place. Like, I can't put it on Wonder or Aggressive and it'll do that automatically. And if it did, I would have to make my pillars 10 times taller so they won't fly away. So these were just part of an automation fail process. And they also became my way of taming otters and Hesperonuses, and my Hesperonuses are actually being useful. So I don't know how to pronounce it. These guys are supposed to be my automatic sap farmers, and they can actually automatically farm sap. I've tested it. They do it really slowly though. I have a bunch of them, but like why I don't have automated crystal obsidian is because I don't know if dinos on Wander actually farm or like even move around when they're out of render distance. I have no idea. I've never tested it. I tried looking up the answer and I don't think I actually really came up with anything. I wasn't really like looking too hard either, so I'm not saying like it's not there. It's just I couldn't get a really direct answer right away and I was just like, fuck it. And the Oviraptors here, obviously, because of the eggs. So, this, I think, now is my entire base explained. I tried preventing these spawns here, but apparently they just keep coming in. I don't know how to stop that. My Basilosaur. I feel like I always have to keep an eye on my Basilosaur. It gets out in, like, so many ways. As you can see, it's out again. Fucking whale's a slippery... beast. Let me like try to grab, like, I'm not worried about it. It has 70,000 health. I'm pretty sure it could take on literally anything in the ocean and it'll be fine. I'm more worried about losing it than anything, because it would be really hard to find if it just wanders aimlessly around the entire ocean, just doing its thing. Where did I put the automation for this? Shit, did it get destroyed? Oh! And that's why I'm not getting any biotoxin. I didn't even think about that. Okay. Because the T-Rex will just be attacking things, right? Does it say it got destroyed? Yep, my AA council got destroyed. Wow. Okay. So I need to put that somewhere else. I need to find my Basilosaur fast. Man, no wonder why I haven't been getting any biotoxin. My automation's not there. It got destroyed. Transporter nodes. Yeah, I had extra memory. Where'd you go? He's such a... Like, the Basilosaur is such a bitch to find if it gets out. Okay. Found it. I think this is, like, one of the reasons why I want to stop this series. It's just solely because of that. Like, it's just... It gets so difficult to, find the creatures back if they get past the fence in some way. I guess if I would have to change something in the series, I would just do metal gates and whatnot. But this is what the only archaic way to do it, because I didn't want... You would have to be pretty advanced tribe to build, like, metal gates. Or, like... I guess you didn't have to build pillars. You could... I could have done behemoth gates and whatnot, but I just didn't want to. So I need to change the automation for this as well. So let me just show pull range. council. Can't place it underwater, damn. But there is only one thing I can do. Let's take off my flippers, but I also need to... Okay, I can't place it because there's too many structures nearby. I can place it like right here. And I know I'm doing this in creative mode. It's just like I have all this automated. You guys all saw my automation. I have a shit ton of everything. I just don't want to feel like going out of my way to grab it just right this moment. Like, this is going to block spawns, which is why I really didn't want to do this, but... Let me make some walls. Make a ceiling. Doorway. Okay, now it should be protected in here. I don't have to worry about it. Then exclude literally everything, which is just 2 things apparently. So with our manual sort, there's all my biotoxin back. Okay. I really didn't want to do that, but you know, I guess that's just the way things work. I pull range. Alright, so let's try and fix this while we're at it, I guess. I love how Prontos just fly randomly like that. I have no idea why that keeps happening, but it does. It's funny. There, a big F. F for the Bronto, I guess. I don't know. The shark's gonna eat good tonight, but... Now that my entire base has been explained, in at least in a little bit of detail... Wait, let's check to see how many golden eggs we have. Last time I checked we had 12, but I also made Kibble. So let's go check that. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we've gotten a lot of golden eggs, and we can just get these automatically. Like, it just comes in here when they just want to randomly come onto the beach after they've eaten fish. Unfortunately, they're competing with the baryonyx, but I decided not to like have a separate thing for trilobites. I just thought it would just be more fair this way. I don't know. I thought it also would look cooler. But now that we got all that out of the way, there's even still creatures that spawn here. Jesus. Like, stop spawning like that. Fuck. Like, leave those tiny little islands alone.